Do not depend on your bookkeeper, your CPA, your bank, anybody else. Because here's why. No one cares.
Like you do. I'm not going to disagree. And there's also a lot of opportunity for fraud. We're back.
Yeah.
It's another episode of
that Big Talk
about
small businesses.
Indeed it is. .com.
Hell yeah. We need to do that after we say it. Is let's go. Hells yeah.
Hells yes. I don't know about that.
Okay. Now I feel
we can do it.
Now I feel stupid. Why'd you start us out like that, Mitch? I was just trying to be a little bit funny. You could have. I don't think so.
Well, the hells plural was strange to me.
Well, that's the new way to say
hell
it.
Yeah. Is it?
Yeah, hells yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. So I'm not hip like you, man.
I know, man.
Okay, I'm an old man. You're hip. Young and cool.
You're pushing 80.
Yeah. Thanks.
In 13 years.
It's not just a little more than 12. That's all. Oh, don't remind me.
Well, yeah, but I mean, that's actually a long time because, I mean, if you rewind 12 years from where you're at right now,
yeah.
I mean, that seems like forever ago, right?
Yeah.
When you were
55. Doesn't seem like forever.
I know. Oh, it doesn't, does it?
Seems like yesterday. I was 55, 12 years ago. Come on.
I think I met you when you were 55.
Yeah, that's about right.
Actually, no.
I was younger than that.
Yeah, because I gave you hell when you turned 50.
It would have been...
I think I was around when your 50th birthday.
Were you? That would have been... I don't think you were. That would have been 08.
Maybe I gave you hell when you turned 55.
52.
You were 52.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe it was 52.
Maybe it was, yeah. Anyway, I was, at 52, I felt pretty young and pretty strong. I still do. I feel wiser, though, now.
Oh, you're definitely wiser.
You know?
Yeah.
Because I've been through a lot of economic uncertainty.
Ooh.
That's the
nice transition.
Surviving economic uncertainty. You know, my first reaction when I saw that is there ever economic certainty?
Never.
In your experience?
No.
Have you ever?
No, never. Never. I mean, number one, I don't think even on a macro scale there's certainty, right? So, but definitely.
There is, you're like deluding yourself.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Maybe you can delude yourself better at other times.
You drink your own Kool-Aid, you know? And then definitely like within your business, there's never economic certainty either.
No.
So.
Anything can go wrong at any time.
Anytime.
And you can't always predict it.
No.
You know?
No.
There's just so much that can go. I mean, like whoever would have thought COVID would happen.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and it just did what it did. But on the other side of it, I mean, like,
whoever would have thought it would have been such a good rebound.
Right. And then some industries just did, I mean, better than they've ever had records.
True.
For like years and 2 years straight.
Yeah.
Exactly. I remember some folks with a canned good company, you know, that sells through a major retailer was saying like COVID was the best year that they've ever seen, ever in like over 100 of years. And they're like, this is great. But the problem is next year when I have to, you know, set my new metrics, they're like, I think I don't know if I'm going to be around to be the one that has to supersede the sales this year, you know, because everybody expects more. Right?
Yeah.
But they're like, yeah, it's just going to be impossible.
I saw that last night when my students were doing their presentations on their consulting projects. It was a packaging company that does like point of purchase displays and things like that. And they just did so well after COVID.
Yeah.
I mean, they were doing twice the revenue they're doing now.
Yeah.
It just exploded.
Yeah. I mean, hell, even our White Spider did a lot. I mean, we just exploded after COVID or during COVID because everybody finally realized the internet was real.
That's what I was going to say. You were doing so much stuff to help these products
for pickup, delivery, and online.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm sure.
It's like, everybody's like, oh shit. I mean, I do need to have better stuff on my product pages.
Yeah.
For the algorithms.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that was good timing. Well, all the recreational vehicle companies, the bike companies, any outdoor activity.
Yeah.
related stuff did well.
Yeah, just I think the big sufferers, well, obviously like restaurants and anywhere, a lot of events. That was a major sufferer.
Yeah, home improvements did well too.
Oh, dude, I remember.
We're sitting around their house. They're like, you know what? That couch sucks. We were like, we're going to go on vacation. Instead, we bought like a $4,500 sofa or something.
Right. Everybody's building decks.
Yeah. Exactly.
Lumber went out the roof.
Yes.
So the demand was so high.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah. But anyway, it's a good point, like about uncertain, like you just don't know, and so I think that, somebody that is in business, like, my philosophy, to be honest with you, is I really don't pay much attention to it.
Yeah.
I just keep my nose down and just keep grinding on the value and the vision that was originally set out. Like, I think that's the harder thing, in my opinion, is staying focused on why you're doing what you're doing.
I think you're right, because it's so easy to get distracted and negative and worried and
100%
and start panicking and doing things that take you away from that. Right.
Yes. And I'll be honest with you, Mark, like I've always experienced that in business, any business that I've had, about what you just said about you can get yourself worried and panic and stuff, but I've never experienced the velocity and the mind-boggling amount of change that I'm experiencing with the AI company I have, with AdFury.
Oh,
AI.
Sure.
It's nuts, dude. Like, it's on another level, like, of just the uncertainty as to what's coming next. And, because you have one company that, like a Google that does this, then you turn around and you see Meta's doing this, and then you have an OpenAI doing that. There's kind of,
and you're changing your offerings
so fast
quickly. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And then like they'll build stuff that you've already built, and you're like, well, how the hell am I supposed to survive against, $100 billion valuation company,
right.
Whatever. It's just astronomical.
Mm-hmm.
But then you start realizing, but I think to that point, as a business owner, I will fall into that, because all I'll do is really read industry news on it. And I spent 2.5 hours this morning reading about it every day for last year. And it takes you into the vortex, right, of worry, confusion, of, contemplation, into this
second guessing,
strategizing, ducking and dodging. But then whenever I think I've been a little bit faster now to kind of go back. Okay, wait a minute. What is it that's at the core? Really, what is my audience? What was the vision? Mm-hmm. What area are we playing in? And then to remember, that there's just so much room for people to continue to help. And this is all going to come down to service-based businesses at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Like all this AI junk.
Sure.
It's going to encourage a whole new layer of service-based businesses helping other people with the technicalities of it, how to make it all work and operate.
Yeah, I was just at a board meeting here last week out in LA for a company I'm part of, and they had their guy talk about how all the different ways they're using AI in the company. Mm-hmm. It's very interesting. Mm-hmm. There's a variety of different directions you can go.
Yeah.
With it.
Well, it's the same premise of tool. It's just it's a tool, a really smart, fast tool.
Yeah.
But I think it's the same premise, like on how, emails changed how we used to write letters and make phone calls. Like it's still communication. It's just different. But if you didn't adapt to that and start doing emails soon,
you'd be a dinosaur.
Yeah.
Yeah. We know a guy like that. He's like 86 years old. He only writes letters. He can't text or email. And it's like, it's so annoying.
Yeah.
To try to communicate with this guy.
Yeah, how old is he?
86.
86.
Yeah. He.
I don't even have to say it.
Everything just slows down, though, if that's the way you are.
Yeah.
It's just, it's really difficult.
Are you hot? I'm hot in here.
No, you're just hot. I'm not. Look, when you're an old guy, you're cold all the time. Okay. It's constantly cold.
Is it?
Yeah.
Why? Why is that?
I don't know. Your circulation's not as good. I don't know what it is, but no, I'm totally comfortable in here.
Okay.
But no. So yeah, it was interesting. All these different ways the company that I was just with is using AI, as a design tool in marketing and research and all the different things they're doing.
Yeah.
And then the CEO of the company and founder, he said he used ChatGPT recently to write a love letter to his girlfriend. He was real proud about that.
Yeah. It can definitely happen.
While his ex-wife sat there in the table with us.
That's great.
I was embarrassed, but she didn't seem to mind, and he certainly wasn't self-conscious.
They moved on.
Yeah, I guess so. But let's get back to the topic, surviving economic uncertainty. There's always uncertainty out there. I do think it's critical to have some tools and gauges in your business. I know you're not a real big fan of the numbers and tracking those, but I am.
Yeah.
Okay. I am a big believer that every single small business should be doing continuous cash flow forecasting.
Oh, I don't disagree with that.
Yeah, it's just you just don't like doing it yourself, right?
Right.
Yeah.
It wigs me out too.
Right.
It overwhelms me really quick.
Well, it doesn't have to be that hard once you get your system set up.
Right.
And you just have to maintain it daily with a rigor that a lot of people don't have. That kind of discipline is what it takes. But it's pretty simple. You create a spreadsheet. Every bill that you've got, all your recurring payments you put in there week by week.
Yeah.
Make your columns across the top. Week 1, week 2, week 3, whatever, with the dates of the weeks. You schedule out when you get a bill, you plug it in when you're going to pay it. You know when all your recurring payments are, your rent, your insurance payments, utilities, payroll, all that. You throw all that in there, and then you try to anticipate. The hardest part is trying to figure out what the revenue is going to be.
Yeah.
Now, if you got a typical service business, if you got a business-to-business business, usually that's a little bit easier because you can see like what the historic payment practices are of your clients. So if with company A, you send them a bill for $10,000, so you're going to get paid in 62 days.
Right.
And you can plug that in then 62 days out in that week that you expect to collect that. But a lot of businesses have a lot more volatility than that, and you don't know exactly.
Do you use, I am pretty relentless about pipeline.
Yeah.
I mean, do you use pipeline in that forecast?
You can do that. Yeah.
But pretty tight on that. Yeah.
We're going to sell this much work. And
depending on the closing cycle, I only look at the negotiating and close. I only count that as part of my pipeline. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
To have some level of confidence in that.
Yeah.
If it doesn't close, there's like, what happened? You know what I'm saying?
We used to even take it even further than that. Not only would we have the projected revenue from the pipeline, but then we looked at the revenue versus the actual revenue versus the forecast and came up with a factor to adjust that by.
Oh, really?
So you could see historically over time, we only do 88% of what we say we're going to do.
Kind of like a closing ratio.
Yeah, based on the pipeline. So we take whatever our calculation is and then multiply that by 0.88.
Yeah. And that's kind of your cash flow projection.
It's an adjustment. Yeah, it's an adjustment to it. I mean, obviously, cash flow is what we're talking about. We're not talking revenue.
Right.
But, like if you sell a job and you've got deposits on it or however you bill for whatever it is you do.
But does your revenue, though, projection come into your cash flow? Because, that's kind of...
Oh, of course.
That
starts.
Okay.
Yeah. It starts with that. It depends on the business.
Right.
I told you, like in the motorcycle business, we could get a deposit, but we don't show any revenue from that at all. We make a sale, that's a deposit, that's cash, but it's not a revenue. The revenue's not earned until the bike is built.
Yeah.
So the two of those are kind of separate from each other.
Yeah.
You could have a professional service business like in our management consulting business where we always build up front. We get some kind of a retainer or deposit. Or you could have a business where you do something and you immediately send a bill.
That's why I love monthly recurring.
Yeah. Oh, God, yes.
My businesses are fundamentally set up on that, right? Because you can
so much more
count the revenue, you can count the cash, you can really run a business better, a lot easier on something like that.
That's why recurring revenue businesses are worth more.
That's fair.
They're less volatile, and especially if you got a great business where it's hard for people to unhook from you.
Yeah.
Those are the ideal ones where they're paying you every month, and to disconnect is a big, big hassle.
And so I look at my entire business based on monthly recurring, and then anything that's one time is just, to me, is like a little bit of icing. It's good for cash flow.
Right.
Now I can't predict it, but it's definitely nice to have. Nice to have that cash in.
Oh, sure. You might be able to say, like, we're going to get $20,000 a week of, things that just come in over the transom that we don't know about now.
Yeah.
So you just plug that in every single week.
Yeah.
But the cash flow forecast, super critical.
And how are you relating that to this, though? Because surviving economic uncertainty.
I've got to be looking ahead to see if I'm going to have a problem.
Yeah.
So if I can look out 8 weeks and go, holy cow, we're going to be short $100,000 in 8 weeks that we don't have, and don't look like we're going to have, and don't look like we've got the credit to get that 100,000, then I can say, now I've got 8 weeks to head that problem off. What are we going to do? We're going to slow up on payments. Are we going to go sell something new and bring some money in? Are we going to change the way we bill people? What are we, it allows you to head off the problem.
Yeah.
With some notice versus getting out 8 weeks and go, holy cow, on Monday, saying to yourself, you know what? We're not going to have enough money to meet payroll on Friday.
So speaking of this, like this first bullet point, it's talking about nearly 2/3 of all small business owners cite economic insecurity as their top challenge, the highest level in over a decade. So would you also recommend that they have cash reserves? Like if you put something, like for example, you get 3 or 6 months. I've seen some people talk about that. Like I've seen nonprofits talk about that more than anybody. But
I mean, would I recommend it? Is it nice? Of course it's nice, but you can't always afford that.
Right.
The typical small business is undercapitalized.
But should people be trying to budget for that? I mean, that's a good way to maybe help you fend economic uncertainty, right?
I mean, yeah, it'd be great if you can. But I mean, I got businesses right now that don't have enough cash as it is. How in the world am I going to have a cash reserve?
Yeah, I was going to say, I've never had a business that has this cash reserve. Like to me, it's it's probably a big corporate problem, right? Like a big company can think that way.
Yeah, or sometimes it's smaller companies. I mean, I work with one company that I'm very intimate with that, let's say they do like $15 million a year in revenue. They're sitting on like $8 or $9 million in cash.
In cash?
Yes, it's crazy.
Just sitting in the bank?
Just sitting in the bank, okay? Now, why are they in that position? Well, they're very old, and the people who own it don't need the money, okay?
Are they not? Can they not use that cash and get like interest off?
Oh, I'm sure
you think they're putting it somewhere?
Yeah, you can park it somewhere.
It's just liquid, but it's liquid available.
Exactly. It's available anytime they want. It's right there. But I think that's an unusual situation. But there are companies out there like that where the owners are just super conservative.
Yeah.
Maybe they have a lot of money or they've got everything they need, and then they just let it pile up in the company. Okay. To
your point, it takes a long time for something.
Yeah, that's a 40-some-odd-year-old business right there.
Well, because a big part of it is that the owners have to get through their buying a bunch of shit when they have money.
Exactly, paying for their kids to go to school.
Yeah, you have to go through all
buying their vacation.
Like, I finally made it, so I'm going to spend money here and do all this kind of stuff. And then it's like, I really don't need any of this.
I got everything I need. Yeah, it's probably more than I need.
Right.
Yeah. And so it builds up. But most companies, I think, are undercapitalized. That makes them more vulnerable in a downturn. They need to be using tools like cash flow forecasting. The other thing I like to look at on a continuous basis and plot it out week by week is working capital.
Yeah.
Which I define as short-term assets minus short-term liabilities. So like, liquid assets like cash and accounts receivable. Okay, throw that in, and then on the negative side, it's like accounts payable and current portion of debt that you have to pay. And if you add those things, if you take the expenses out of the liabilities out of the assets, you come up with a number. It's just the assets minus the short-term current assets minus current liabilities. And if you track that every week, if that's going up, that's good. If that's going down consistently, it's bad.
So what were you talking? What is this again?
Basically, current assets minus current liabilities.
But that equal what?
Working capital.
Working capital. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you could
basically what your company needs to kind of.
It's your liquidity.
Yeah.
It's a liquidity number, and that gives you an indication of how well you're going to be able to suffer downturns and pay your bills. You see what I mean?
I do.
So if I saw that week after week after week going down, I'm going to get worried and go, what am I going to do here to change this situation?
So what does it mean for a person like myself that never looks at any of this stuff?
It means you sure as hell better have a good business manager or financial manager. Or just be so well-heeled you don't care.
Well-heeled?
Yeah, that you could just keep throwing money into your business. I guess those are the other options.
So what if I don't have any of those?
You better start doing it yourself. I don't know what to tell you.
No, I have always had
find somebody
good financial partners.
Yeah,
which for that very reason.
Sure.
Because I don't want to. And I think it's okay. I think it's important for listeners to understand. Like entrepreneurs come from all different walks of life.
Yeah, you got to do what you do well and not do what you don't do well.
Yeah, and so you shouldn't not do a business because you don't feel like you're financially astute. Now it's taken me. The funny thing, and so maybe there's somebody listening that's kind of can share their brain, with me on this, is that or can relate to me that over the years I've gotten a little bit better at this.
Yes,
I can. Here's my problem.
Your financial literacy has improved over the years.
But it has, but just for my own sake, not for the business sake.
Okay.
And I think you might enjoy this discussion a little bit because it is kind of odd to me because I'm very different than, like you, my JS, my business partner. We all kind of know it, but I don't have the capacity to think down, to get down into those numbers and weeds. It's not that it's necessarily boring. It's just, to me, it's unproductive.
Yeah.
I don't know how else to better put it. And it's not because I think I could enjoy, actually when I do, I tell you what, my numbers skills come in and I know I have them.
When you're battling to survive.
Well, kind of.
You've said that before though.
It's true, but they really come to play, and maybe this is part of Battle and Survive. They come into play when I'm building quotes. Does that make sense?
Yeah, because that's a part of the sales process,
right? Yeah,
I'm really selling stuff.
I can, I'm really and I know how to. Yeah, if I'm brokering a scenario, I used to do a lot of print brokering back in the day. I made really good money on that.
I'm sure.
But I would do a lot of research to get to the lowest price and understand the specs, make sure I was comparing apples to apples. Very, very financial and kind of intensive work.
Sure.
I would spend hours in that. And then I'd get the lowest price with the highest quality. And then I would find a really reasonable calculation to then mark up that was a fair market value to my client and know the percentages and everything. I knew how much cash that thing was going to bring in and how much work it's going to take. That's where all my energy would go into when it comes. But it's funny. I have found very few people in my career that could do that go down to those weeds and will spend the time in that because it is monotonous.
It's all part of the sales process for you, which you just find more interesting and more exciting.
Maybe so.
For you, it's more of a positive thing.
Yes, it is positive. Yeah, I don't like looking at numbers and talking about all the worries.
Exactly. That's just positive. It's just another sale. It's another job, right?
Yeah.
It's another source of income.
That's right.
You like to focus on the income side.
Yeah, that's right. Let's build this.
Yeah.
Let's quit talking about how we're all screwed.
Now, look, I understand that too. I do think entrepreneurs are good at that. It's like, a lot of entrepreneurs aren't that good at personal money managers.
Yeah.
Because it's not what they do. They're more interested in making more than they are in trying to preserve what they have.
My answer is always get more revenue.
Yeah.
That's always my answer. It's never not saving cause. It's never cutting back.
Yeah. You're not saving the candle. You're trying to make the best use out of the light while the candle's burning.
Right.
Instead of just like, well, do I want to light my candle or not? It's like, light the damn candle, but make so much money that you can buy more candles, right?
Revenue is always the answer in my
No,
brain.
I get it.
Well, we're having financial problems. Then we need to sell more.
Yeah.
We need to make more phone calls. We need to have more meetings. We need to go
It's
more
true.
events. That's 100% of the answer for everything.
that is so much the entrepreneur's mindset right there, I think.
And so I think it's important for people that are listening, like if that's how you're thinking, then that's okay.
It is okay. It's definitely okay. It's better than okay, but you still need to take care of business. You still have the hygiene related to operating your business, and you got to have decent numbers on it, and somebody's got to be looking at what's happening, because you can be selling a lot of stuff and not collecting the money,
Right.
and go
100%.
broke, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
And if you're an entrepreneur, you're most likely going to be a very good collector, necessarily.
mhm.
Like you don't ever want to be the bad
It's
cop.
negative. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I would do it in survival modes.
Yes.
I would do Alex and Maud, my first, my
Sure.
my
Alex
co-founder,
knew him well.
White Spider. Yeah.
Big L.
Yeah. So in the early days of White Spider, right, we had just gotten to that bigger building and we were building our team. And I mean, and we had a, pretty substantial payroll building up and whatever. But he would, every day I'd walk in and he'd want to talk about these freaking numbers with me. He'd pull me in his office and I'd have to sit there.
Your eyes had glazed.
Oh, dude, I was just like, it was like the worst for me. Like, and I would just entertain it. And I'd be like, yeah. Act like I was really paying attention so I could just get out and get on the phone or get back
Sell
to the email
something.
and sell something.
Right.
But he would, and so I didn't really pay much attention to those meetings, because they're so recurring. And then he was like, man, we're having problems, and we got payroll coming up on this day. I'm like, okay, yeah. And they go back. And the next day, hey man, we really, have to bring in some revenue. What's going on there in sales? I'm like, man, this and that talk, whatever. And then by like Friday, I remember this a couple of times this happened. He's like, dude, seriously, we have payroll on Monday and we don't have enough cash to cover it. We're screwed. And I'm like, well, how much do we need? And he's like, we need $20,000. I'm like, oh, well, I got a check in my truck for $35,000. And literally, dude, I'd walk out to my truck and he goes, you're freaking kidding me. I'm like, no. I got it.
I got it Monday.
Yeah. I got it last week when I was meeting with the client. I forgot to bring it in.
Oh my God.
And I go in and I go out in the truck and it'd be like watered up in my seat a little bit, all crinkly, and I brought it in. He's like, I'm going to freaking kill you. He's been wigging out.
Because he's been worrying about this all week, right?
And I've had that check just hanging
That's
out.
hysterical.
Yeah, but that's how much. But hey, on that point though, real quick, I'm sorry, I'm taking over the show.
No, that's all right.
I mean,
Take over. It's your show. Yeah.
That's
It's
right.
the Eric show. It's fine.
It's good.
So, I mean, we did put out a social media post recently where I was the guest.
Listen to Eric Howard's a big talk host talking to this guest work. That's awesome. But on this, I think what's really important, there does need to be somebody that is financially focused.
Yes.
And I would say, and I'm going to know if you agree, this person should also be either a partner with you in the business or an executive that's really overseeing the business.
Yeah.
You can't not, and this is my point, do not depend on your bookkeeper,
Oh, yeah.
your CPA,
Yeah.
your bank,
Yeah.
anybody else, because here's why, no one cares.
Like you do. I'm not going to disagree. And there's also a lot of opportunity for fraud.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
that's
I mean, there's been so many cases of embezzlement and money stolen from companies by
I've seen it.
bookkeepers and accountants when the owners weren't really aware of what was going on.
Yeah, you got to be, yes.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, especially if you're an entrepreneur, you're starting a business, you don't like numbers, you go get you a bookkeeper
yeah.
that, and you're trying to save money and you don't really know them, you didn't really interview them. You just need somebody to freaking run your QuickBooks.
Boy, you're right. That is a very dangerous position.
It's a bad pit, man.
It is. That's a very dangerous position to put yourself in.
Yeah. and then you don't have anybody auditing that.
Yep.
And if you send it to your bank thinking other people are going to audit it for
They're
you,
not auditing anything.
No, they don't know what's going. They don't know enough about the business to really see anything.
All they care about is you got enough money in there to make your payments to them or whatever you got to do.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's true. So yeah, I think that's a good point. Make him an owner if you can, or get your spouse or partner working with you on some of that. Sometimes it's necessary, as much as it may not always be great in the long term. So it says here, cash flow and liquidity as survival fundamentals. Well, that's what we were just talking about.
Yeah.
1 year survival rates in certain census divisions declined in the wake of past economic downturns. That doesn't surprise me. I mean, you had a recession, businesses don't do as well and fail. I'll put that in the same category as the research that I was talking about here on a previous show, that if you don't drink water, your urine is more yellow. Okay. That's about from the Department of the Obvious, right? Or if you don't go to the office, you get sick less.
Right.
That's another bit of published research.
Oh, that's insightful.
That is so insightful and so shocking.
I know. Isn't it?
In a recession, more companies don't make it through a year. That's a shock. Here's another point. Cost management and operational resilience. Rising costs, inflation, compliance, labor are major pressures under uncertainty. 70% of small businesses say rising prices have significantly affected operations. Yeah, it's a big problem right now, for sure. Mm-hmm. Anytime you have inflation, it's a problem. But things like the tariffs affected some industries a lot more than others. You know, some businesses don't care about tariffs. I mean, here at
we don't care.
Podcast videos, it's not going to impact you at all, right? Unless you got to buy a new mic and it comes from China or something. Right. Maybe it costs more than it used to.
Yeah.
But that's such a small part of your operation.
Yeah, it doesn't really impact us that much at all.
But when you're making stuff and your supplies suddenly go up like 200%, that can be a problem.
You know, and I think that, like, how do you it's for every single business has its own unique way to, survive or
with those
prepared
things.
With economic uncertainty. Because back to like when I was talking about print brokering, right? Mm-hmm. I never, ever had just one supplier.
Yeah.
Ever.
What's a bad position to be in?
It's really bad. And I mean,
it is.
To be honest with you, like some of that is like, it's more about prioritization with your strategy, like in how you have people focus on things, I mean, to me, maybe that's how I personally look at the uncertainty is have I built backup defenses in case something does happen? Like, am I able to pivot quickly?
Oh yeah, I know. You got to pivot on this.
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, I am always thinking about how to, because I do think like, what if YouTube completely makes this where everybody gets a free microphone and camera and across the entire United States? Like, I'm screwed.
No, exactly.
So what am I going to do? Well, here's what I'm going to do is like, I'm going to pivot my business really quickly, put out new sell sheets and go to market. Like, hey, we edit them now for you.
Yeah. You've got, I mean, there is truth to the fact that you've got to be able to mold your business and your offerings to changes in the marketplace.
Yes.
But again, some businesses are easier to do that with than others.
You're right.
I mean, if you got a manufacturing business and it's small, it's got no buying clout. Okay. It's very difficult and most of the other people in the business are doing much higher quantities than you are.
Sure.
It's hard to go find an alternative supplier. You know what I mean?
I would say, yes, I agree with that, especially on short notice.
Right.
Like you're screwed.
Yeah, it does make sense.
When the tariff hits, and then you don't have a backup. But if you spent the last 6 years building backups and constant, like what's that review process, right? Like to where it's always have these folks. Yeah.
I mean, again, some things you just can't even buy in this country.
No,
they're just not available. But other things, I think so there are things you can do to recession-proof your business in terms of finding multiple suppliers.
Yep.
That's something that you said.
Working on terms.
Anticipating problems, that being tuned into the market. So if you need to adjust your offerings quickly, you can.
Yep.
I think a good example of that was, you mentioned earlier, like restaurants were hammered in COVID, right?
Yeah.
I mean, some of them seem to do so much better job,
I'll tell you,
than others, and others just didn't change a damn thing.
That is such a good point to articulate what we're talking about. I remember a lot of the restaurants were just like shut down.
Yeah.
They didn't do anything.
No.
But I would go to Tropical Smoothie down here down the road, and those managers were killing it. They had more business. And I went and talked to one of the franchisee owners. He's like, we've never been this busy. Like, I mean, it's just freaking just absolute destruction. They sold more smoothies and more food, and they're freaking killing it when other folks have not adapted to the circumstances.
Exactly.
I think that's part of it. How do you survive economic uncertainty? You have to be ready to adapt quickly and just try things out. It puts you, if you're a good entrepreneur, it puts you back in that entrepreneurial mode, okay, there's uncertainty, but with uncertainty comes opportunity.
Yeah, it does. If you respond appropriately.
It really does. Like you can actually capture a lot of market share.
Exactly. You get market share then when other people aren't.
Yeah. It's just like the Walmart thing, like when COVID happened.
Yep.
Like Walmart, they had pickup. They've been working on it, in delivery, but the big thing was pickup, and nobody really believed in it. It's just kind of like, oh, that's cute. A lot of people are talking like that.
Yeah, you're right.
When that shit happened, they empowered that, and they said, oh, wait a minute.
Let's ramp
ramp it up.
Yeah.
And they ramped it up, and they did it quickly.
Yeah.
While everybody else just shut stores and we're going, oh, what do we do now?
Yeah, it probably got them a lot more share in the grocery market than they had before.
But it's an interesting conversation, because as I'm thinking about it, like, just like in the case we were talking about, like the parts manufacturer, right? And in the case with Walmart, specifically like with Walmart, where they were diversifying their business, like to begin with.
Sure.
Whereas like the parts company you're talking about wasn't really diversifying. And so to deal with economic uncertainty, I mean, just in general business practice, you should maybe be diversifying and exploring
and
innovation.
Investing in new things.
Yes.
And new distribution channels and new
revenue opportunities.
Yeah. Oh, no question about it. If that's part of your culture and your way of doing business and your strategy, you're bound to have something hit.
Yeah,
it's what I
kind of like
at.
Like that's like, I feel like that's Bezos' theory with Amazon, right? I mean, like, how are you going to knock Amazon down? Well, you're going to make, like, so what if another online retailer comes in? What do they care?
Yeah.
And so what if another cloud storage company what do they care? They got so many facets of business. Like, they can basically take a hit.
Yes.
And keep moving.
Small businesses, though, especially depending on what they are.
Yeah.
I mean, like, really small businesses have a harder time, though, because they don't have the resources to explore things. The owners may just be doing their job every day, trying to keep up with the demand. Like, one of my students did his consulting project on a local donut shop. And I
got an idea for a donut shop.
I know you do. I've heard it. It's inappropriate for this audience, but no,
plus it's a trade secret.
Those,
if anybody wants, I got a great idea. Holler.
But seriously, the guy who owns this donut shop, he's Asian. I don't know if he's Laotian or something. He bought it a couple years ago. He goes to work at 1 a.m. to make the donuts, and he works until 2 p.m. 7 days a week. Now think about that. That's like 91 hours a week or something on that order. That's
12 times 7.
That's 13. No, it's 13 times 7. Yeah, 91. Okay.
91 hours.
Yeah. 91 hours a week this guy works, turning out donuts. I mean, he didn't have any time to do anything else.
No.
You know what I mean? He's just trying to survive turning his donuts out. Now, he does a great job at it. He's got a good business. And
What's the name of his donut business?
it's Cronuts on, over on MLK.
Dude, my daughter loves that. Like the high schoolers love that place.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
They love it, man. Donut Cronuts.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, he's killing it over there.
He is. He's killing it. And he knows all his customers. Like, he gets to know them by name and he knows what their orders are.
Yeah.
This guy's like a machine, you know? I mean, it is impressive as hell.
Yeah.
But my point is, though, it's going to be hard for that guy to invest in doing things a lot.
Yeah, to
Anticipate.
Yeah.
And to have like
to think about diversification.
Yeah, exactly.
But you kind of have to. It's
Yeah.
one of those things you really have to do. You know, and I think but to the point of this conversation is that he's at high risk for economic uncertainty.
Yeah.
Like if something happens to where he cannot operate his business because of outside macro or even personal, like what if he gets, honestly, like if he gets hurt or something.
Super vulnerable.
Super vulnerable.
Yeah, and what if it like comes out that donuts are cancer causing?
Right.
You know, or I'm not saying they just something like that, and that's all you've got.
Yeah.
You got a problem, you know.
Whereas you could have been making some kolaches.
Yeah, maybe you should have been making salads, you know, for like after 12 o'clock, they sell salads.
Yeah, hot dogs.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't even get me started.
Did you have a hot dog recently?
They're so disgusting. I did hear last night one of the presentations.
There goes any hopes of us having a freaking hot dog.
Oh, shoot. No, hot dogs are wonderful. So delectable. No, there was last night, one of the students, his project was on a chicken processing facility.
Hell yeah.
It was absolutely disgusting. The amount of detail that he got into about what happens.
Chickens.
I was just like cringing. I'm like, dude, spare us some of the gore, disgusting details. Let's just get into the business. It's my class, Small Enterprise Management, where they do a consulting project on an area business, on a small business, and they try to help them increase revenue.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Increase profit, reduce risk, and increase the value of the enterprise. But anyway, speaking of hot dogs, I mean, chicken processing is about the most disgusting thing that ever was. Just
why is it so
about
gross?
Please, I don't want to get into it. But no, their business had some vulnerabilities in it, which were pointed out by my student.
Yeah.
In terms of they had way too few suppliers of the chicken, and they had way too few customers.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a bad combination.
Like they have like just a couple big customers.
Right, just a couple big customers buy all their product.
That's another point about this.
It is.
Not just the number of customers. And I actually think about this.
Yeah.
You know, which might be, maybe personally I'm thinking about a lot of these things that not necessarily financially being prepared.
Right.
But definitely thinking, because when I think about clients, I don't just think about the number of clients that I have, but I'm also thinking what lines of businesses are those clients in?
Yeah, well, that's a good point, because some of those businesses they're in may be more vulnerable and volatile, right?
100%.
Which could then affect you.
Oh, big time. Like at White Spider, we would have like, I remember I felt really vulnerable when we all of a sudden, I can't remember what category it was. I think it was in beverage. We ended up having like a good portion of a lot of the big beverage companies, in our portfolio, or maybe it was beauty or something. But it was like oddly a lot. And it was taking a good percentage of our portfolio. And I'm like, man, like this is very vulnerable. Like what?
Right.
Walmart's like, we're out of the beauty supply business.
Yeah.
And then it'd be like, just hell. I mean, it would trickle down and hammer us.
Sure.
And so just even, not only is it like in the industry of retail, but you can get even more macro, like what categories.
No, that's a good point.
Retail, right? Because you might have, if you don't have beauty, but then you have baking supplies.
Right.
Then even look at the brands, like, okay, private labels a little more secure than maybe just some, smaller brand.
Yeah.
Yeah. You get smaller brands with larger brands and private label. I mean, you build little triangles that where you have some security in your market segmentation.
Ready to level up your show? Podcastvideos.com is the premier podcast recording studio, equipped with industry-leading technology to save you time and hassle. We specialize in marketing and distributing your podcast, ensuring it reaches listeners everywhere. From eye-catching promos to targeted social media outreach, we help grow your brand and audience. Visit podcastvideos.com today, and let's elevate your podcast game together.
I do think, though, that having too few clients or customers really hurts a business. It hurts the value. It makes it hard to sell. Diminishes the value. Makes it a lot more vulnerable. I love businesses where you got 1 million small customers.
Yeah, 100%. You can afford churn.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can get fired by one. You still got 1,000 others.
That's it, man.
Okay.
Yeah, then you can start plucking away at who your best client set is. Right?
Yeah.
Like who you're actually wanting to work with. That's a good position to have.
So that is important to be thinking about that. What else do you think is really important when you start thinking about recession-proofing your business or dealing with a volatile economy?
I think that it's, I was thinking of this earlier, but and maybe it's just the line of work I've been in, but like I don't have, just speaking as an entrepreneur, like if all hell comes, right, in the business, there's not much that I'm tied to as far as like
Ongoing
debt requirement.
Yeah.
Honestly, like it would probably take
That's a good point.
60 to 90 days to kind of just
Wind down.
just wind it up, it down from a financial standpoint.
That's a good point. I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
Because that's another reason, like the classic small business wealth building strategy is own your own building. But I always tell my students, it's like, I'm not going to buy a building for any business until it's been in business for a long time and I know how big it's going to be. Okay.
Yeah.
Because the worst thing to do is I'm starting a new business. I'm going to go buy a building because it's a good tax write-off or whatever. It's a good wealth building strategy. Now you're stuck with the overhead.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait until something goes wrong with that building.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so that's another point is I think is good that you brought up is like avoiding long-term commitments that you can't get out of.
Yeah. Yeah. Like buying big machines.
They're going to increase your overhead.
I remember back in the day when printing was a lot bigger, I was like, God, I'd be so scared to run that business. Yeah. On these millions and millions of dollars of machines.
I had a friend of mine that sold those like whatever 8-color presses, Heidelbergs or whatever.
Heidelberg, right?
He was the expert in it, and
really
he knew how to program them, and then he would recondition machines. He was buying them in Germany and brokering them, selling them here. Made a fortune.
Freaking fortune.
No, he did.
I bet he did.
He made an absolute fortune. He was like the guru of those things.
Oh, well sought after person.
Back then. I wouldn't want to be in that business today. It's probably horrible, right?
The
amount of printing. Maybe it's not.
Well, depending on what they're printing.
Yeah.
Like if you're printing just good old sheet fed, but if you're doing corrugated and
packaging,
it's probably doing quite well actually.
But so that is a good point though. Like some businesses are definitely more capital intensive and require longer term commitments.
Yeah, that puts you extremely, like if an economic downturn happens or something, like you can be screwed pretty quick. And it's just extremely stressful to be rolling with that kind of looming commitment, over your head, especially if you're brand new. Like, I think that's a big thing. Like, it also depends on what stage in business you're in.
Exactly.
I might buy one of those presses if I had multiple lines of customer segments.
Right. And
I had diversifications of offerings.
Yes.
It's not just printing I'm making money in, but I'm also making money in like trade shows or whatever it might be, service-based stuff.
So you're not betting the whole farm.
Yeah.
Is what you're saying.
Yeah. But if you're like I've seen like t-shirt folks have been the worst that the worst that I've seen, like get themselves involved in things. Like they'll go out and buy a t-shirt press for like $50,000 when they'll have it on a bank loan before they even have any business.
I know, that's crazy. I would be farming out my pre-shirt printing until I knew I had a viable business.
Yes.
I would be This is a really important point. Save your capital.
Yes.
Don't make the long-term commitments.
That's right. Don't And it comes back to our big point we always talked about. Don't look at the profit line when you're starting a business.
I know that's not the thing.
It's not, man. Look at your revenue lines.
Right.
Look at
And your
you
cash
have to look
flow.
at what your profit is, just to make sure you're not going backwards unless you have cash to invest.
Right.
But the thing is just go as thin as you can
Yes.
to try more revenue. And then once you have your book of business, you have more confidence in the things that you can start cutting costs down. There's always
And
seems to
making
be-
longer term commitments that save incremental costs.
That's right.
Yeah.
And the basic rule of thumb is the more you buy of something,
Yeah.
the less per unit it goes.
Right.
The costs go down.
Sure.
So as you get bigger and you have a bigger check, then you should get bigger deals, better deals.
Yeah.
And so just drive more revenue and more sales, and you're going to have a good answer.
I've seen so many people make that mistake. I knew a guy that went into the online, like t-shirts and all these accessories and stuff, and he bought big quantities because it was cheaper per unit.
No, bro.
And then he ended up with stuff that he could not sell.
No.
Whereas he would have been so much better off if he'd had a drop ship model.
100%.
Okay. Find out what the market wants. Have tons of options. Okay. Just market them. If you sell them, those are good. If you don't sell them, you don't worry about it. It didn't cost you anything to speak of.
You know what, Mark? This is some of the problem. That's why I'm so glad we do this show, because this is some of the problems that young entrepreneurs or new entrepreneurs get involved in.
It's true.
Is they'll listen to some of the big talks like from Mark Cuban, which are obviously they're excellent entrepreneurs, but they're probably not talking in your vein as a small startup business, right? You got to know who you are and what you're up to doing.
Yeah.
Like if you have $1 billion in capital from your investors, you're in a totally different league than a one-person show that's going to start a t-shirt company.
Yes.
And so you don't need to be worried about profits. You don't need to be worried about all these market sectors and have 15 PowerPoint. Like, just get at the sales, man.
Yeah. Sell some t-shirts and find somebody to make them up for less than what you sell them for.
Yeah, and you know what you become? You become an excellent project manager.
Right.
Like, did you make the order? Did you get all this? I mean, and then you know the business, and you make a slim. I mean, you don't count your time. Don't go out and start saying, well, I didn't get paid $150.
I know. I should just go get a job now. But you just started out this business. You don't even know what this can do yet, right?
That's right, man. You got to be ready to go dirt poor.
Yeah.
Because you're trying to build and grow something, which we've always talked about too. That's the difference between solopreneur and entrepreneurs, that you're trying to grow something, right?
Yep. It's the difference. It's where the value is.
All right, Mark. Well, I got to go. I can't just sit around here and talk on your show all day long. Okay.
It's been great having you as a guest.
Thank you. You too.
No, I think this is a really good topic. I'm glad we talked about it today. And I'm sure a lot of people are thinking, what am I going to do right now?
Yeah.
So.
And they, I think a lot of people probably get analysis paralysis, and their confidence is low because they're not, Warren Buffett.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's part of we have too much information.
We do.
You don't have to be freaking Warren Buffett to start a business.
No, you don't.
You don't have to be John D. Rockefeller, just like an accounting wizard, or a Mark Zweig.
Yeah, right.
You can be a goofy
Eric Howerton.
Yeah. and live.
Focus.
And survive.
Focus on the revenue growth. I do think there's only one more thing I just wanted to bring up, though.
Yeah.
And that is that the type of business you go into itself, some are more recession-proof than others.
Agreed.
I mean, you mentioned hot dogs. People are going to eat hot dogs 10 times in bed. Okay, beer. They're always going to be drinking beer.
They actually drink beer more often.
But a luxury item, like I saw one of my students did his report on a company that has like online golf simulators.
Yeah.
24 hours. That's a luxury item. That might go bad.
Yeah.
In a tight economy. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Although their pricing was very reasonable. I thought it was a great business model. But I'm just saying there's some businesses maybe they're inherently more vulnerable than others.
For sure.
You need to think about that.
Yeah. Yeah. If you but I'd also say, like, if you're overly concerned about security, entrepreneurism may not be the best thing.
No, it's not for you. All right. Well, hey, this has been another episode of Big Talk about Small Business.
Thanks for tuning into this episode of Big Talk about Small Business. If you have any questions or ideas for upcoming shows, be sure to head over to our website, www.bigtalkaboutsmallbusiness.com, and click on the Ask the Host button for the chance to have your questions answered on the show. Stay connected with us on LinkedIn at Big Talk About Small Business, and be sure to head over to our website to read articles, browse episodes, and ask questions about upcoming shows.